This is a Boardman SLR 9.4 disc carbon, and it's a high performance bike with a low price tag. And it's a bike for the cyclist who wants a speedy bike, but also a comfort focused bike as well. And the geometry, as we'll find out later, really is a sweet spot between a race bike in terms of aggression and that low front end, but also an endurance bike and being laid back and nice and stable. And in this video, I'm going to review it. So we'll go for a ride and see how it performs on my local roads. But first, let's go to the frame and equipment details. And we should start with the price, really. So when this bike launched earlier this year, and you might have seen my first ride on it, linked above in case you missed it, it cost £2,700. A very, very appealing and much lower price tag than most other bikes with the same group set. Unfortunately, the bike at the time of making the video isn't currently available. It's still out of stock, as most bikes are. The bike, when it first dropped, sold out in about 4 hours. It was that popular. On paper, this bike offers extremely good value for money, with a high-end carbon frame, good finishing kit, and a performance that's on par with many other bikes in this category, or even costing more money. So we'll start with a frame and a fork, and what you're getting here is very impressive. It's the same grade carbon fibre as used on their top end models, now brought to a lower price point. So you're looking at a sub 900 gram frame. The fork is just over 300 grams as well, keeping the weight of the overall package very low indeed. So weight has been one aspect the company has chased. The clue is in the name, SLR, for super light road. But there's also a hint of aero as well. They've shaped the tube profiles. You can see it in the seat post, the seat tube, the drop rear stays, and the down tube and the head tube, giving a cam tail shape, that sort of D-shaped chop tail profile that many bike manufacturers use. Give it a hint of aero, but not chasing aero as much as their more pure aero bikes, but giving it a bit of aero where it can without adding weight. And lots of modern details on this bike, like an internal seat clamp for the seat post, internal cable routing, but external around the handlebar, so you fit a normal conventional handlebar and stem. I think that's a plus point at its price point. Easy maintenance and being able to change handlebar and stem compared to the one-piece solution you get higher up the range. Disc brakes, of course, flat mount calipers, 12mm through axles front and rear, and we have a press fit bottom bracket, which I know will be a minus point for some people watching this bike, but I've been riding this bike for the last few months and had no issues so far, so touch wood on that front. So it's a racy looking bike, and I love the red to black fade, which matches my nice Sportful kit. If you like the kit, by the way, link down below to go and check it out and take a closer look. There is space for up to a 30mm wide tyre, front and rear. The rims are tubeless ready as well, and we even have mudguard mounts. This new Boardman launched with a brand new SRAM Rival eTap AXS group set, which is now the cheapest, most affordable electronic group set you can buy. Cheaper than Ultegra Di2 and cheaper than anything that Campag offers. And what you're getting, in case you missed my review on this group set, linked above in case you missed it, is all the same functionality, ergonomics and performance as Red and Force above it, but at a much lower price point. And really the only negative around the group set is the weight, which is a bit heavy, a bit lardy compared to Ultegra Di2, and heavier than mechanical group sets as well, unfortunately, which does contribute to this bike being 8.12 kilograms on the scales without pedals for a size medium. So it would be nice if it's lighter, it's not, but there are some plus sides that definitely make up for that weight. And ignore all the concerns around the 10-tooth efficiency and focus on the benefits this 1030 cassette gives you, which is wider range, easier gears at the big end and higher speed gears at the small end, which gives you more over range than any comparison group set. And combined with that 4633 chainset on the front, which I know looks small compared to conventional chainsets, gives you more gears when you really need it here in the real world with real world levels of fitness. Easy to climb, which helps the weight of the bike. And the other benefits as well, which is easy to miss, is the first 6 sprockets from the 10-tooth offer 1-tooth gaps. So if you're fussy about your cadence when you're going hammer and tongs in a chain gang, you get that nice easy transition from one sprocket to the next. So lots of good things about this Groupset. And then the shifting is fantastic. I love the ergonomics of these Rival hoods. Smaller than Red and 4s and better in my opinion for my quite small hands. And the shifter ergonomics in terms of the two paddles works really well. Up, down, both together with the front mech is a wonder to use. The battery can be removed for easy charging. So lots of good things. The only bad thing really is the weight. But at this price point, weight probably isn't everything. And as we'll find later in the ride section, the weight doesn't really hold it back too much. And to the rest of the equipment, well, it's quite impressive how very few corners have been cut, especially in the wheels. At this price point, or even higher up, you usually get some quite heavy Lardia wheels, quite often boat anchors, which really ruin the performance and ride quality of a good bike. But these AXS rims are surprisingly light, about 1500 grams, just over, which is very good for a wheel set like this. Nice, shallow 30mm aero section, external nipples, nice reliable hubs in my experience, reasonably fast engaging free hub. And then the tyres are Vittoria Rubinio Pro graphene tyres, 28mm wide, running low pressures, 60-65 psi for my body weight. And they're a good tyre. They're not the best, they're not the worst. You can run these for a few thousand kilometers and then upgrade to a better tyre. And then the finishing kit is all good. Got an alloy handlebar and stem and a carbon seat post and a nicely padded saddle. The saddle shape works for me. A bit too much padding for my personal preference, a bit squidgy. I'll fit something firmer. And then opposite to that, the bar tape is really thin. So I'll definitely fit some fatter, more padded bar tape. Got a nice feel to it, nice texture, but it's a bit thin. Definitely needs a bit more padding up there. So that's the bike in detail. Talk about the price and equipment highlights on it. Now let's go for a spin and see how it rides and performs and whether all this kit delivers a good ride out on the open road. The performance this bike offers is truly outstanding. To get this level of performance with a high quality, low weight carbon frame and top notch finishing kit at such a low price is really, really commendable. And it really shows how far road bikes have come over the last few years. They can get so much performance for such a small price tag. So you no longer have to pay top dollar for top performance. Yeah, top work, Boardman. Absolutely top notch work. It's not perfect though, and I'll come to that in a moment. But first, let me expand on why I like this bike so much. And there are a number of factors at play here. I love the fact you're getting a high spec, lightweight and stiff carbon frame at this price point. It's clearly a quick bike, but it isn't the most rapid I've ridden this year. And despite that aero shaping on the tube profiles on the main frame, the fork, the seat post and seat tube, it doesn't feel as quick, in my hands at least, as something like the Specialized Tarmac SL7, the Scott Addict, or even my Giant TCR, and nowhere near as fast as a pure aero race bike, which is to be expected. It's definitely not slow though, it's no slouch. There's that initial hesitation at low speed, but once you're up to speed, maintaining good speed is okay. And it's a really usable bike here in the real world with real conditions and real world levels of fitness. Just an easy bike to get on with, an easy bike to live with on a daily basis. A big factor in why this bike is so usable and so likeable is down to geometry, which very neatly splits the difference between a race bike and an endurance bike. And it really is a Goldilocks. Just slammed enough but not too much, and laid back enough so you got that long wheelbase, kind of shorter reach, higher stack, so a nice comfy riding position. Got a short stem, you can easily fit a longer stem and slam it a bit more if you want to go a bit racier or use the drops, but doesn't have that outright aggression slammed riding position of a race bike, and not as twitchy as a race bike either. So I think what Boardman have done, I've given us a modern bike with a modern geometry that works for a sort of rider who wants one road bike that can be used for racing, perhaps, sportives definitely, or just riding around, fast performance road bike. The comfort of the bike is mostly good. On a smooth road it's absolutely fine, but on roughly surface roads like country lanes, like I'm riding here in the Cotswolds, there's quite a lot of feedback through the handlebar especially. Now it does have 28mm wide tyres and I'm running them at a low pressure, about 60-65 psi, but I'm still getting a lot of feedback through the handlebar and it's quite jittery and quite unpleasant, I have to admit. Now we do have quite skinny bar tape with not much padding and an aluminium handlebar, so I reckon a carbon handlebar and some fatter bar tape could be a good upgrade on this bike, and that might give the bike a bit more comfort, just dilute some of that feedback through the front end. It's a bit smoother at the back end, got quite a deeply padded saddle which definitely helps, those drop rear stays which are really skinny, but it's just a front end, just needs to be a bit smoother. And now riding in one hand, holding the camera in my other hand, the handlebar's shaking around in my hand quite a bit on this unpleasant road surface. I have to be honest with you, it's a very unpleasant road surface. But if you ride very smooth roads, like you might get in Mallorca perhaps, then you won't notice that discomfort at all. So let me wrap up this review of the Boardman SLR. And I love the fact you get a high performance, high-end, lightweight carbon frame with space and wide tyres and mudguard mounts, and a geometry that makes it a really usable, enjoyable, fun bike to ride. Great for everything from racing to sportives. The kit is all top-notch, fantastic SRAM wireless gear shifting, very intuitive shifters, I love these shifters, and they're very compact hoods. Check out my review of the Groupset, link above in case you missed that. A decent set of wheels which aren't super heavy, some okay tyres. I would go for tubeless if I buy a bike. And the only change I'd make to the bike is to fit some fatter bar tape and maybe a carbon handlebar, just to try and calm down that front end when you are riding on the rougher roads. But it's a package that really shines, and even as the price does go up from its initial launch price, I think it's still good value for money. So hopefully this video has been useful and helpful if you're in the market for a new road bike now or in the future, and hello from the past if you are watching next year. And this is definitely one that should be on your short list. There's a lot of bike for not a lot of cash. Anyway, that's my review of the bike. Let me know what you think down below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy watching this video. Right, that's all for now. I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching.